Satellite images show a Russian naval base under construction on the Black Sea. It's part of Moscow's increasing ambitions in an area that is crucial for European security and home to a number of NATO member states. The base is located in Ochamchire in Abkhazia, a breakaway region of Georgia which is de facto controlled by Russian-backed separatist forces. Its location has raised fears Russia could use it to disrupt the entire Black Sea region by hitting back at Ukraine, hijacking lucrative trade routes, and threatening the security of NATO member states. In 2023, Russian-backed Abkhaz authorities announced Moscow's intentions to transform a port in Ochamchire into a permanent naval base. Since then, construction work at the port has ramped up. Natia Siskuria is an analyst with defense and security think tank Rusi, where she focuses on Russia and the Black Sea region.
Ochamchire is located around this area where we have the occupied region of Georgia, where Russia has effective control.
The port has taken on a new significance since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, and Kyiv's claim to have damaged or destroyed 1/3 of Russia's prized Black Sea fleet.
Russia sees the Black Sea fleet as a tool of projecting its power within the Black Sea. Ukrainians have been quite successful at targeting Russian assets in the Black Sea. And in October 2023, we saw how Russians have been relocating their ships from Sevastopol to the Novorossiysk port. But still, Novorossiysk has not been a safe haven for Russia, and Russians have been looking at alternatives. Novorossiysk port is located over here. We have the Ochamchire port around here, and you can see that the distance between these two ports are quite significant, which means that the Russian warships will be much safer when it comes to the distance from the actual war zone in Ukraine.
While the location offers Russia's navy some additional security, Ukraine still possesses the ability to hit Ochamchire. So Moscow is relying on the fact that despite its status as a breakaway region, internationally, Abkhazia is widely recognized as part of Georgia.
Ukraine recognizes the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Georgia, and should it decide to strike, this will eventually mean that Georgia would be dragged into this conflict.
As well as helping Russia assert military dominance, a naval base offers Moscow another advantage. It could use it to disrupt a major global trade route.
The middle corridor runs from China all the way towards Georgia and the Black Sea, and this is a significant route which can serve as an alternative to the northern corridor.
Before Moscow's invasion of Ukraine, more than 85% of land-based trade between Europe and China transited through Russia. But sanctions on Russia have upended that lucrative route, and now Georgia stands to benefit from the new focus on the middle corridor.
Georgia, being located strategically here, it has a very significant benefit. Its proximity and access to the Black Sea, as well as its connectivity with the east.
Georgia is constructing its own deep-sea port in Anaklia to help turn the middle corridor into the fastest cargo route between Asia and Europe. In 2023, the middle corridor handled under 3 million tons of cargo. With improved infrastructure, the World Bank estimates that trade volumes could be boosted to 11 million tons by 2030. But there's a problem.
The Russian naval base will be located just an hour away from the Anaklia port. This will eventually kill the Anaklia project.
Satellite images reveal how Russia is working to turn this tiny port into a naval base.
We have seen some changes in terms of the access to the port. For instance, we see that the access has been widened, potentially in order to allow bigger ships to enter the port.
The satellite images also reveal that in the summer, a larger Russian ship, a type of salvage tug, docked at Ochamchire.
This here indicates that the port can actually receive the Russian ships.
While the port is small, experts suggest it is big enough to refuel vessels that are capable of carrying Russian cruise missiles. Analysts say Russia's moves to upgrade its military infrastructure in the Black Sea reflect Moscow's long-term plans to assert dominance in the region.
turning Ochamchire port into a naval base would be significant progress in terms of militarizing the Black Sea.
But the same can't be said for NATO, despite having a number of member states and partner countries which border the Black Sea.
Currently, NATO, United States are trying to figure out what is their policy when it comes to Black Sea security. There is no significant progress when it comes to developing some sort of strategy.
And that's something that Moscow will be looking to exploit, particularly when it comes to countries where both NATO and Russia are seeking influence.
Ukraine and Georgia that have been directly targeted by Russia, and these two countries have been aspiring to become members of the EU and NATO. That has really driven Russian foreign policy within the Black Sea in terms of making sure that the presence of the EU and NATO are diminished.